little video for you. So we've got some test data in here. This is just test data and save funds and stuff like that. But this is all on contract. This data here. This is I've just got to plug in the contract data here as well, which doesn't take long. I have WebSockets updating this directly from the blockchain. I ran into an issue where a certain amount of users, I got to a point where I would get an error, and I think I know what it is. So I think I fixed it. It was just the create user function was exceeding 4 kilobytes by 472 bytes, which ultimately, when it was included into the Trollbox, that 4 kilobytes being exceeded was sort of pushing the limit of the account size, available account size. So at some point, it just reached that limit. So I think I fixed that, but it ultimately pushed me on to making some test scripts to really sort of hammer the contract and just make sure there is no any sort of data limits exceeded, which is ultimately a big problem, which is a big terminal problem. So it's things like that when we go live, we certainly have to. Well, I certainly have to make sure that that there's no possibility of that happening, because it's pretty terminal if that sort of thing happens. So I mean, we can create a new user here. Let's just create a simple user. So I just had to sort of break out some of the accounts when they're created and push it to the client. So not a problem, but it's just finding these things where ultimately it could cause a problem within the Trollbox Solana account. So that's creates a new user. You see that new user's here now, Dave, and then Dave can ultimately, this is test 20 domain. And ultimately, so these are the emojis and stuff like that. To be honest, native emojis don't actually look that bad. And obviously those can go on chain, no problem. And there's Dave. There's still, I still need to put some filters on here, so you can, and also some profile executions on there as well. But you can see, this is great. You can see how fast it is. And if you notice, obviously, another message, you can see in real time. And so this is obviously coming from a Solana account, which is the global state, which keeps track of all metrics for all troll boxes and things like that. So a lot of the reward mechanisms are based on how many users, how many messages, and things like that. So you can see what messages there, and that updates in real time as the message. So you imagine this as a Chrome extension, much in the way sort of Backpack is put onto the side. You'd have Trollbox on the side there, and this would be any website. And so you'd open the Chrome extension, and the Trollbox chat facility will be available on any website. We'll have automatic connection with Phantom Wallet and Soulflare, so you can just disconnect and connect your wallet again. Yeah, so it's just working through these things. So create a Trollbox is as simple as test 20. Well, test 20. Let's say test 21. Test21.com. I'm sure I'll come to that in a bit. Create a control box. And another troll box has been created there, and we can see that the troll box is incremented. So if you have test 21, be it Amazon, be it Binance or anything like that, that was an unofficial troll box. The official troll box has a different sort of onboarding. Basically because the official ones, the domain ownership has to be validated. So it's countersigned basically. So it has to go to the server. There's two ways you can do it, but the simplest is just putting the domain owner, just put a file on the root of the domain. When they create the official troll box, it sends it to the server checks if the file's there, reads it, and then partially signs the transaction as well, to allow the official troll box to be created. So getting through it as fast as possible, and ironing out any bugs that sort of occur. You can see obviously the deduction happened for creating the troll box. So yeah, hopefully we'll be mooning soon. But this is where we are. They're nearly there, and this part, I say it's nearly there. And there's testing, and this. There's a whole host of things that need to be make sure that it's extremely secure, and working and things like that. And but in principle, it's getting closer, and hopefully lifting this into the Chrome extension. There's not going to be too much heavy lifting really, because this is built in Angular. And I will also build the Chrome extension in Angular. So this is a component, and so hopefully that will shortcut the timelines to get the troll box into the Chrome extension. But this essentially, in principle, is the same thing. This part here. So I built it on site. So we've got all the metrics and things like that, and it's a good place to test. And then it can be lifted and put into the Chrome extension. So in practice, here you will, you'll be able to search for a domain. And be able to search and get the domains, and there'll be a page here for domains. There'll also be your troll boxes. You've got multiple troll boxes on a single wallet. You'll be able to see their performance, their individual metrics, and the individual revenue that you're getting from the troll boxes. So that dashboard still needs to be built, but it's not too much work. because essentially it's just a run through what's on your account, and then putting the troll boxes in a grid. And what else? Yeah, so there's some server work to do. I need to put some sort of bot security on here, to just stop it being scraped. Update to the documents. News is not going to be going live. It's just something. I've got a whole news database, but it's not really going to add too much to the site. Which we're ultimately wanting users to come here to look at the metrics, create their user account, and create their Trollbox account. Yeah, so it's fully integrated with wallets such as Phantom and Backpack and Soulflare, and everything here is on IPFS. This is all on contract, so this is all encrypted. So what happens is it actually reaches a maximum limit, and then the messages just replace themselves. So we get to a maximum kilobyte, and the messages just keep replacing themselves. So in the future, obviously we can log into accounts like historical messages, but with regards to troll boxes, it's not really important to have a long period of time where messages are available for search. Obviously, as a message is sent, all the metrics are logged. So the long tail of messages are not required because it's an in the moment chat facility. No one's really going back to look what happened on chat 2 days ago. But ultimately, as the product keeps expanding, things can be logged to the user's account and to the global state and things like that. So relevant things that need to be sought or stored we can do that, but we can add those organically. And even an official or I'd say just official will be able to expand their message history. But the key thing is as a message is sent, the metrics are recorded to the account, and then obviously the rank is increased, and the fee structures and reward structures are modified based on rank. And each user account has the individual metrics of how many messages they sent, how many Trollbox they've entered, how many rewards they've gained, how many rewards they've minted, and things like that. So it's all about the message. It's being put into a Trollbox, which is when the contract does all the processing. So if you, for example, if you create an account and you sit on it, you don't do anything, you're not going to gain anything. There's not a process that goes across all the accounts and starts churning public keys and trying to look back in time, because it's just not performant. And to do things like that, you would have to, well, you have to have a trigger essentially, because you have to have a fee payer. So all activity is basically processed on message, so if you ultimately send more messages, you're going to have more triggers on the contract. And there's 21 ranks, and also, oh yes, also another thing is special rank as well, with OG Trollbox TOXERS. You guys are in contract, so you'll get the special rank, which will sort of boost everything you do, and that's in contract as well. So I think I am, I'm getting very close. I think certainly needs testing and rigorous testing. I think there is a it's essential that I put this at volume, so I can sit here all day and send messages. You can see here, for example, I'll send another message. So Dave sent 5 in a row. Each message will trigger the reward cycle, but I also, there's also things where I have to make sure that bots are not just coming in and just spamming messages. People having multiple accounts, just sort of communicating to their multiple accounts through bots and things like that. Those are the challenges with decentralization. There's always, there's going to be a certain amount of that, but there's also the sort of necessity to allow users to identify bots and have them removed. So we have a ban list. Official troll boxes, they can interact a ban directly on a user. Unofficial troll boxes, it's actually user weighted. So for example, if something looks like a bot and a percentage of users in the troll box says this looks like a bot, then when there's 25% of users in this active space says it looks like a bot, then it will be removed. And this is basically, there's going to be a filter on here that will keep a historical record longer. So like the past hour, so you could filter this user's messages and then sort of holistically see all the messages and see if it looks like a bot, and then you'll be able to vote looks like a bot or AI or something like that. So there's going to be some mechanisms to allow sort of control of users to sort of weed out the bots, and then they get put to a suppression list. So for example, we've got 5 messages here. If I try and send another one, it will not allow it. So the contract's got custom messages in. This is a direct program error, but I've got custom messages that will come from Anchor. I just need to plug those in as well. So Dave can't do any more because he's done 5 messages there. So, but if we, unfortunately, there's not an unchange on Backpack. There is one on Phantom, but ideally it would be nice if there was an event where the account could change. There is. I will implement it on Phantom, so just changing that account would have triggered the event, but for now you just have to refresh, and you can see sort of the new user account is loaded, and the new user can send the message and carry on. And then we go back to wallet 12, which was Dave. Dave can now carry on sending messages. So there has to be these sort of measures to just stop indefinite spamming, because ultimately people will then be just after rewards, creating a troll box. So I'm still working out if rewards should be available straight away on a new account, or you should get to a certain rank before there's the possibility of getting rewards. I think just in terms of bots, it should be a certain rank, and there should be potentially a step to increase your rank, which is a bit more difficult to do, which would make it challenging for a bot. So maybe it's like append your Twitter account to the profile, and obviously that's going to be a bit more challenging to a bot to do, because unless they have loads of bot accounts on Twitter, which are steadily being eradicated, it probably would act as a good filter where, obviously this is an open contract, a good filter to stop. So bots just directly hammering the contract. There's also spam triggers as well. So there's going to be timings between each message, so you can't just keep one message after another. I mean, you could, and it's fast, so you can just sit there and put messages in, like so. But I'm putting a delay on, certainly on the UI and the Chrome extension, that will stop indiscriminate messages just being sent one after the other. So that delay, let's say 10 seconds between messages, and then the spam trigger is essentially, if you're a bot, you're going to be bypassing the UI. So if you're a bot, you might start hammering it. So the spam trigger will be under 10 seconds. It will, on a Fibonacci scale, keep increasing the fee structure. So ideally, one of those things that we don't want, spam, but in some ways, this will sort of keep users' accounts, fairly rewarded. And if anyone sort of indiscriminately creates a bot and just starts hammering it, then it's gonna catch them, and they'll pay the price on a Fibonacci scale, with the expanding fees. So obviously they could then go, okay, we'll just send a message at 11 seconds, but hopefully that would then be evident, and then can be filtered out quite quickly by the users, and also the official Trollbox owners. So yeah, this is where we are. So I'm sort of in semi-testing at the moment. Everything else is sort of the smaller bits, but I'm sort of in the more rigorous testing phase of creating the test scripts now. And the key thing is making all the data sizes are correct for the accounts, and the rent space on the Solana blockchain. So emojis, yeah, I've just got to map those in, but I actually thought these didn't look too bad. It actually, native emojis look pretty good, and the IPFS gateway is working well. I've got to just plug in some stuff on the profile and settings as well. All right, this turned out to be a long video, but hopefully you sort of get an idea of where we're at, and you can see there's positive steps, and it's I think it works well. I think it's fast. I think it feels like a Web 2. Obviously we have a wallet. I mean, ultimately you could create a Trollbox adapter, so it create a wallet in itself. But in the first phase, I think it's relevant to use existing wallets and then get user feedback, and so people can use their existing trading account. So if people always use a certain account on Dupe, for example, they'll want to append their Trollbox account to that common account that they use for trading. So we want to keep it in line with people's existing processes as much as possible, and then over time, if everything is relevant, that the internal workings of the Trollbox extension should be like an account that there's no sort of, you don't have to interact with a third-party wallet when you create an account. It's ultimately doing it within the browser. Then that might be a relevant step, but for now, you know, we want to prove the concept. We want to get the Trollboxes on as many domains as possible, and the Chrome extension, and then we'll take it from there. But yeah, guys, this is where we are.